Hi everyone, today we are going to be propagating my Madagascar dragon tree, which was in my yard when I moved in. We trimmed it back. We had landscapers come and we trimmed it back early last year, and now it's getting pretty full again, so I figured now might be a good time to propagate it. It does take up quite a bit of space. You can see the root system. A big portion of it is on top of the ground, and you can see some spaces where it has been trimmed in the past. I do know that it roots very easily when you try to propagate it, but I just want to take it at a few points where it might look better as opposed to worse, like that. I don't really want to see those. So I did just have these two little babies come off, and the funny thing about them is they look very funny at the bottom. What I think is happening here, and this happens with a lot of trees in this area, is they have, I guess at one of the places I go to, they call them walking roots, where they start to grow new roots and then they just sink down into the ground. I don't want that to happen here because this root system is large enough for my yard, and I don't want the roots to continue out to here because then basically it'll just fill in. So as funny as it is to look at, I do want to take that off. So that's the main one I'll be taking off today, and then I'll probably do a few more pieces. Some of the maybe funny looking ones. I'll take a few more pieces just so I can show a couple different ways to propagate it. We'll do water and soil. So let's get going on. So I'm gonna take, okay, so I will take off one with these roots attached, and then I think I'll leave the other one just so that way we can see if it does reach down, and then if it does, I'll just cut it afterward. Okay, so we've got this funny looking one with its little baby roots attached. This one. A little too far, so we'll take this one. This one is pretty goofy, and the top looks a little damaged, so I'm probably gonna cut the top, keep the middle, so propagate that in a few ways. A pretty big one, but this would look really good in a pot because it's pretty full on the top already, and you can see it's already been chopped, but grows really nicely once it's been chopped. So yeah, pretty big one, but that'll look nice. And I'll get maybe one more. Another one like that. I'll just grab another one like that, with a bushy one that's already been cut and pretty big on the bottom. So that'll actually fill out an entire planter probably. Just for here, can get the big ones into some soil and the small ones into some water to watch them root. So I filled this with succulent soil, and we're just going to pop the biggest ones first. We probably need to add some more. So they stay upright, but for now, and you could trim this, but for now I'm not going to. Just get it in there. It's a little bit. Get them at a little bit of different heights so they look good all together. Pack them in. You can also use sticks to hold them up. I might want to do that also. This one already has those little roots on there. So we'll see. So I want to put this one in here or not. I might end up putting this one in a taller pot. I think I might have to put this one in a taller pot. Too big. And then this one. I'm going to trim this part here. Well, of course, that's giant shears right now. I'm going to trim it right above where this is. And then plant it in here. In the front. Oh. Like I said, I'm good here. One thing I'm going to get some sticks just to hold them up. Until they root and they can stay up on their own. To get a little bit of roots, when I wet the soil, I should be fine. Alright, so I kind of wanted this basket to look a little bit full. Move these ones. The giant one I'll put somewhere else, and then putting that one too. Okay. Right here. And just a vase full of water. I put some rocks on the ground or on the bottom so that way it's not sitting directly on the bottom. And we're just going to put the stem cutting in there, see what happens. And then we're going to put one of the branch cuttings in there. So we'll have two just hanging out, and we'll update in a month. This is the 1 month update of the Madagascar dragon tree rooting experiment. So we have them in the soil here. I did move a few over to another pot, but I was tugging on this one and it felt like it had some resistance. So put them up and see if we have roots. I imagine that's more than I thought we would have. Okay, so big root growing here. You can see the top is still alive, so that would make this super easy to just trim, pop in soil. I will also say you can probably see that the soil is wet. I'm really impressed with that big root. I want to see if the other ones have similarly big roots. It's been raining here, so typically I wouldn't water a cutting until I start to see some roots form, but I don't have space for these inside, so I had to leave them out, and obviously it did just fine. There's no rotting, at least on that one. Do I want to? I'll pull them all out. I'll pull them all out. It's for the experiment. So no rotting here, but no roots on this one. I thought there might be some at the 1 month mark, but it seems like they're just starting. Checking my roots over here. No roots on that one. No. I got roots on one. Oh, maybe two. This one feels pretty. Oh. Oh. No roots on that one either. And here is the 1 month update of the water propagation. So let's check these out. We have one with no leaves on it. That is successful. So these are really big roots starting to come out. As soon as you start to see them like this, they're going to pop out all the way out pretty soon. This one probably has started first because it doesn't have to focus on keeping the leaves alive, whereas this one doesn't have any roots yet, but it still has a full set of leaves on the top and looks good. So these obviously propagate really well, and they still look good while you're propagating them.
Subscribe to learn more.